What's up, guys? It's JZNES back again with another video. Today we're talking The Legend of Zelda. Wait, didn't we review all those already? Actually, we're talking about the entire Legend of Zelda series, as I'm going to now rank them from 16 to 1. All of the main series games. Here we go. Ready? Starting now with the shitty... Well, first of all, let's preamble a little bit. The Legend of Zelda series, blah, 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 blah. Great series. One of my favorites. Alright, starting with number 16. It doesn't deserve this epic music. I just put this in here because I thought I was going to talk longer, but I don't have that much to say. I've talked about all these games before. I'm just going to rank them now. And we're going to talk about them briefly, you know? Legend of Zelda, Oracle of Ages. Now, the Oracle of Ages is the worst Legend of Zelda game, and is one of the only Legend of Zelda games I can consider to be a bad game, maybe. I think there definitely is precedent to call it a bad game. There's so many problems with it. The fact that you can never understand what the fuck you're doing. You have to be on like the specific fucking one spot to warp between worlds, and you gotta know, like, I gotta do this thing in the past to make the future thing, and I gotta play these 5 mini games in the past to get this key that only works in the past and not the future, and blah blah blah. All this stupid shit. You have to have a key for the past and the future in the one dungeon, and it's like, you don't get the boomerang until like fucking the end of the game practically, or like halfway through the game, and all those little bubble enemies fucking suck. And God, the mermaid suit, how it changes the fucking button shit or whatever. The only good part about this game was the connectivity with Seasons. The only good part about Ages was that it made Seasons post-game better. So, that's it. That's literally the only good thing about it. The aesthetic and whatnot was fine. I guess some of the music was okay. Zelda shows up. That's kind of cool. Other than that, it's terrible. It's just, it's so unexplainable, like, how you're supposed to do everything. The only good part, actually, okay, I'll take that back. I still consider it kind of like a bad game, but there's 3 dungeons. The last 3 dungeons are pretty good. Outside of the mermaid suit debacle, that dungeon's pretty good. And then the ones after that are like Seasons dungeons, and which was the same problem with Seasons. The last few dungeons felt more like Ages dungeons. So it's like, that's the only problem with that game too, is those dungeons and a couple of dungeon things like that. But this has like all of the problems that, like, Seasons didn't have a lot of problems, but the problems it did have also transfer over to Ages and were like multiplied like a billion times over. I like how there's connectivity. I like the fact that some of the characters come over and whatnot. I think that stuff is cool, but that's only, like, the same shit would have happened if I played Ages first and got into Seasons. Just like, it's really unexplainable how you do everything. It's just not very well laid out. It needs a companion character, is what I have to say. The puzzles are sometimes way too ethereal. You have to, like, remember halfway across the dungeon there was this one button that now you can press or get to a spot because you have the item or whatever. It's like, it's really big brain stuff you gotta think about. Usually, it's only like a couple of rooms over in most Zelda games, right? In this game, it's like, nah, figure it out, bitch. You know, there's no way to mark your map or anything. If that was a thing, oh my god. Dude, imagine, Tears of the Kingdom. They have the shit where you can, like, mark your map in the overworld, but in, like, real dungeons. And you can, like, mark stuff in the dungeon and just, like, remember, oh, I need to come back to this later or something. Wouldn't it be fucking amazing? Like, mind-blowing. This game is not that. It needs a remake. It's not going to get one because they just announced that GBC and GBA and GB games are coming to the Switch via the Virtual Console or whatever. So they need to be remade together and then, like, put together into a package that can, like, connect or whatever. That's all I have to say about this one. Fuck Zelda Ages. And everyone's like, oh, I played Ages for a little bit. It was pretty good, but I'm trying to tell them to play Seasons, which is the much better game. So, but by default, but obviously, like, no doubt in my mind, the worst of the main series Zelda games. So many problems with this one. So, Ages. Here, we'll start stacking them so you can, like, see them over here. And I've got this playlist, but that's just the whole soundtrack of Ages, and we're not listening to that shit. Alright, so next game. Let's see if you can tell by the music. Oh, where's my stack? Oh, it's over here. Alright, hold on. Listen to this. Wait. Is this it? Yeah. Oh, this is it. Okay. It's so epic. It's so epic. The music in this game is actually pretty good. There's some banger of the tracks. But still a very problematic Zelda game. It's the best CD holder I ever had in 2011 or whatever. But the 2021 or 2 or whatever version is actually pretty good. Skyward Sword HD and the original. HD is actually an okay Zelda game. It's not great. There's still a lot of problems. But it is a playable version of Skyward Sword. Skyward Sword, the original, is unfucking playable. The controls are dog shit. The controls in this are fine, and even the gyro controls in this are better, but they're still not there. I mean, if these controls for the gyro had been on the Switch or the Wii version, that would have been good. I could have maybe stood that. I probably would have gave the game some more slack, but the controls just neutered the fucking experience. They absolutely obliterated the experience the first time I played it. That being said, Skyward Sword HD is actually pretty decent. It fixes a lot of that kind of stuff. You can use a controller now. That's what I fucking did. But you still have a lot of the bullshit and the tedium. There's still not that many good dungeons. I think my favorite dungeon, the only one that I consider to be like a real Zelda dungeon. Oh, there's 2 of them. Okay. So the one where you're moving the blocks around and stuff to and then you have to go through those rooms. That one, the last one or whatever, second to last or whatever. I think that one's pretty good. And then the ship one where you have to shoot the little crystal to change it between times. I thought that was really creative and definitely good. But the boss on that one sucks. So still some negative there. But yeah, overall though, Skyward Sword, I mean, they've got some good side content. I didn't mind the goddess cubes and the little islands in the Skyloft. I thought that was pretty cool. The upgrade system, the crafting stuff to make your weapons better and stuff, that was cool. Breath of the Wild needed that, but they didn't have that. I mean, they did have that with the armors, but that was only the armors, not shields and items and stuff. That would have been cool. At least let us I mean, I guess they kind of did that with the Master Sword. I don't know, maybe the Hylian shield should have been one they would let you do that with. I mean, you fucking go all the way out of your way to get it. Anyway, that's a Breath of the Wild thing. We're talking about Skyward Sword. I liked, I don't know, the music obviously was pretty good. The aesthetic was fine. It kind of, I finally kind of gotten to a point where I'm just yeah, this is fine. But you know, it has some good side content. I don't mind that. It's just the main content where in all the repetitiveness and that fucking escort mission of the stupid robot motherfucker who wouldn't just get out of the way whenever an enemy is shooting at him. What the fuck is wrong with that guy? I hate that shit. Stuff like that is what really pissed me off about this game. It's the 5th time I had to go back to that volcano area and I just wanted to fucking be done with it and shoot myself. But, you know, that's not gonna happen. So, yeah, I don't know. Fuck it. Skyward Sword, not a great Zelda game, but it has a couple of redeeming qualities, whereas, you know, Oracle of Ages didn't have that much at all. So, yes, I actually didn't put Skyward Sword last. It grew on me the slightest bit. I think it's an okay Zelda game at this point. It's not one I want to go back and play a bunch of times, but it's a Zelda game. It exists. You know, it's all right. It's an all right Zelda game. So, here, we'll put this in front of Majora's Mask 3D there. Okay. Next game. Boom. Phantom Hourglass, the DS Zelda. Well, of course there's Spirit Tracks too, but we'll talk about that here in a minute. Phantom Hourglass, Hourglass, Phantom Hourglass is a sequel to Wind Waker, which was a good Zelda game, and definitely back in the day I thought it was pretty good. But it wasn't like super hype on Wind Waker like everyone else was back then. You know, but I did play. I was trying to beat all of the Zelda games then, so this one was like new at the time, or newish at the time. And I remember getting a DS to not specifically to play that, but like to play a bunch of other stuff too, but also to play that. So yeah, this one suffers from some of this like touch control stuff. It's fine. When you're choosing your weapons or whatever, you have to like do that in real time. I thought that was kind of weak. Just like, it's not very memorable. There's like all the dungeons and stuff aren't like super great. They're short, but they're like not very memorable. There's not like a lot going on with them. The overworld kind of isn't that great either. I didn't mind the salvaging minigame, but it just like never really amounted to much. You would always just get like rupees or ship part that didn't really do a lot. There's not a lot to keep you going. There's not a lot of side content. There's a couple of things for side content, but it's kind of actually not very well presented in the game. I remember not being able to find most of it or whatever. You know, you have to like really go out of your way to like seek it out. You can draw on your map. I think that's definitely something that needs to always be a thing in Zelda now. You know, even if you just do it with like the analog stick or something, I don't know, fuck it, figure it out, dude. Or if you just have to do it in handheld mode for the Switch or whatever, like that'd be all right. I don't know. But other than that, like you know, like it's a decent enough Zelda game. It's just there's not a lot going on with it, you know? There's just not a lot to keep you invested. You just basically do the main story, and then that's kind of it. There's not like much else going on there. You know, it's decent enough. I like it well enough. It's a pretty standard-ish kind of thing, but some of the touch stuff gets annoying a little bit, and then it's like, yeah, it's just not that much else to really go on about it. A couple of the music tracks are pretty good, you know. I don't think the world like really stands out that much. Just graphically, it doesn't look as nice as the other DS Zelda game, you know. I think they did a lot better job making that one stand out. It's just more generic stuff on this one. It's okay. It's an alright Zelda game, you know, but yeah, definitely not one of the best ones. So that's number 14 there. I haven't been numbering them, by the way. Number 16, 15, 14. Alright. I'm on the wrong... There we go. Number 13. Wait, is this the first track for this? Yeah, it is. Okay, never mind. Let's go to this one. Yes. Alright, number 13. Minish Cap. The Legend of Zelda Minish Cap. Yeah, you can't really see it there, but, Minish Cap. It's so small, you can't even see it! Anyway. Yeah, a pretty good Zelda game. I actually had this one as a kid, whenever it came out there. I think I played it in like 5th or 6th grade there. And I liked it back then a lot. Nowadays, like, I like it well enough, but I certainly think that I appreciated it more back then. You know, it's one of these nostalgic games. I was gonna say like Mario and Luigi Superstar Saga, but that game definitely has a lot more problems. This game is less so. It's just, you know, I mean, it's a good Zelda game. It's just not like an amazing Zelda game, like great, oh my god, you know, this is so good kind of Zelda game. And that's like these first, like, bottom 5 is like, they're just kind of, they're alright, they're pretty good, you know, or they're actively bad, you know, with the, you know, like, these two, well, this one specifically. This one has its problems. This one, you know, decent, not too bad. I like the music, the graphical style is pretty good, actually. just like the whole Minish concept, like the shrinking down and stuff. I think that's a really cool way to kind of do a secondary world within your world, which, you know, Zelda games do a lot, where you like switch between worlds or something. This is like a world inside the world that you're already exploring, and I just think that's really cool. So that was a cool concept. There's actually a lot of side content. The fucking figurine thing will take you like forever if you're not save stating that shit. So yeah, I mean, that's something you can do. There's all sorts of stuff. Yeah, so I mean, there's a lot of good content here. The Kinstones, that'll open up a lot of stuff for you. There's a lot of like side quest stuff like that. So I definitely give it props for that above something like Hourglass there, which didn't have a lot of that kind of stuff. So, yeah, I mean, I like a lot of that kind of stuff. I think the dungeons are pretty good in this one. The item variety is pretty decent. Like, you have the Gust Jar and the Whip and stuff. You know, that kind of stuff. You get the Lantern in the last dungeon, which is, like, the weirdest thing. There's only, like, 4 dungeons, which isn't so bad. You know, it's more of a handheld, shorter kind of Zelda experience. But it definitely has a lot of good things going for it. And this is the problem with, like, anything from, like, this point, like, everything in the middle here, that you're like, but that's a really good game, and I'm like, yeah, I know, but there's a lot of really good games on this list, you know? That's a really good game. So, like, everything, I would say from here on, like, maybe Minish Cap is, like, somewhere in the middle, but, like, I'd say everything from here on is starting to get just, like, gradually better and better and better, and then, like, you know, like a couple of entries from now, I'll talk about it. It's gonna be like, oh, this is great. You know, it's like we're actually getting into the like really good Zelda games. So not that Minish Cap isn't a good Zelda game. It's a good Zelda game. It's not a great or amazing Zelda game. It didn't blow me away, but I had a good enough time with it. You know, for a GBA Zelda, it's pretty cool. That's the last of the Capcom Zeldas as well, which is certainly an era of Zelda. But yeah, we'll get to the last on the list of those in a bit here. But for now, this is the last chronologically that they're making. So it's kind of like the third game that never got made as well. So yeah, cool game. A lot of the characters from the previous game show up in there, so that's pretty cool. So like yeah, there's like some fan service in there. That's also pretty good, but pretty good Zelda there. All right, where's my file? Here it is. So next we have. Gosh, this pile keeps falling over because it's very oddly stacked because of the like nature of these games being how they are. All right. Next, we have Spirit Tracks. The Legend of Zelda Spirit Tracks. The best DS Zelda game. There's only 2 of them, but it gets that by, you know, pretty much by default. Just a really big improvement on all of the problems with Hourglass. They fixed a lot of the touch stuff. They made it a lot more interesting. Some of it still kind of sucks. I mean, you know, that's the nature of touch stuff. For what they did, they improved on that a lot. And they refined that as well as they could to get it working better. You know, the item thing where you don't have to, like, do it in real time. The companion character being Zelda, that was cool as shit. I loved that. The one game where Zelda's actually, like, a big part of the game, you know? Like, for the most part, fucking cool as shit. I loved that. The train stuff was actually cool. I actually liked that, you know? Like, the overworld being traveling by train and stuff. Like, finding all the collectibles in the overworld, all of the bunnies and the, what was the other thing? There was something else, some other collectible. It's been a minute since I played this one, but, you know, for the marathon or whatever, but, all of those, oh yeah, and the stamp station things, which there's actually a decent reward for. I just didn't know about it, because you gotta talk to the guy twice. Anyway, all of that, and then all of the other kind of... There's a lot of, like, side missions and stuff, so they fixed that. They've really improved upon the game a lot. There are some minor problems, though. Such as, like, the fucking final boss guy, where you have to, like, keep going at him, and he keeps pushing you back. I fucking hate that shit. But other than that, I mean, the final boss wasn't too bad. The second part of that, the last part of that too was kind of shitty, but I don't know. Other than that, other than the final boss, like the dungeons were pretty decent. The tower thing, they fixed that. I forgot to mention that in the original, like how the tower was kind of a problem. I didn't mind it, but it was kind of a pain to have to keep going through it. You just have to go through the part that you wanted to go through in this part, and you never had to really backtrack much unless you wanted some items, which like really didn't matter that much. Yes, like overall the world, this soundtrack, fucking this song is such a banger. I didn't even know it was from Spirit Tracks before this, but like holy shit. So fucking good. Love this overworld theme. So good. You know, I don't know if there's that many other great songs from Spirit Tracks, but the overworld at least, it's like such a banger. Love it. Here, let's listen to the other one. Oh my god, why is it doing this to me? Stop doing that. It's because they're on here like a bunch of times, that's why. It's just a fucking jam, dude. Like, so good. Yeah, I mean, like, this is like actually the beginning of like the really good Zelda games. Okay, I had some problems with that. I can't really remember all of it. Oh, that fucking one mission where you have to go through the cave or whatever. I hated that. That was so bullshit. Stuff like that. This little grievances are what makes it from being like a really, really good Zelda game. But it is still a good Zelda game. And, you know, I liked playing it. I would always be like, oh yeah, I want to go play more Spirit Tracks, you know, or whatever. So, definitely really good Zelda there. I liked Spirit Tracks, for sure. Way more than I thought I was going to. There's a lot of good concepts going on there. Alright. Next game. Oh yeah. Talk about bangers. Boom! Wind Waker. That's Wind Waker HD up there. Probably the version I prefer. I don't know if there's really too much. There's a couple of differences that just quality of life differences. I didn't actually play through this one as part of the marathon because I had already previously reviewed it and I didn't really know that I needed to like redo it or whatever. I thought, okay, yeah, I'm probably pretty good with this one. I did really like it when I played it last. Gosh, that was a couple of years ago now, but yeah, like really solid Zelda. I think like it's these lower ones. It's the dungeons that are never the memorable part. There's a couple of ones that are like pretty good, but it's just not a lot going on with them. But in terms of side content and the ocean and all of that, and like sailing around and discovering stuff, that is like peak, like almost like 10 out of 10 level energy there, you know, like I love that kind of stuff. And the fucking music, the themes, man, so good. You know, and they have like the Koroks were in this one, and just like the fact that they flooded the world is so interesting. You know, the Rito, those were in this one, they started here. But yeah, I liked it a lot. It's definitely not like a 10 out of 10, and for Zeldas, it's not my favorite necessarily, but it has like definitely grown on me a lot over time, and it has that kind of Breath of the Wild energy where it's like this overworld is big and there's lots of stuff to discover kind of thing. So I like that about it. I think there's definitely some magical charm there. It's just, it could have been like a little bit more refined, and the dungeons could have been done a little bit better. I think there's definitely that. But outside of that, it's definitely... Oh, and the aesthetic, the graphics, like the style. I know everyone hated it when it first came out, but I think we're all in agreement now. It's fucking adorable, and it's awesome. And it's just so good looking, you know? I just love it. So, Yeah, all of that stuff comes together to be really good. I like that. I like this game a lot. This is the start of like the good to great Zelda games, you know, like for sure. This is definitely there. So that's number I don't even know where we are right now. Oh, listen to this. So good. Number 12, number 11. All right. I just want to sit here and jam to these songs, but I just don't have enough. I got so many other games to get to as well, you know. All right. So yeah, sorry, we got to switch you, Wind Waker. I probably have another. Okay, here we go. Oh, this is so good. This remix too. It's Epic Game Music is the channel. All right. I was looking for this for like fucking 15 minutes or something. Legend of Zelda: Link to the Past. Definitely like, especially for the early Zeldas. Like I love the early Zeldas. Don't get me wrong. Out of like the 4 first Zeldas, this is not my favorite of those. Obviously, this is the lowest on the list, but it's still really fucking good. It's still like, it's so good. This is like the template formula for Zelda, finally. You know, like, for 2D Zelda, anyway. It, like, this is it, right here, you know? This is what, like, every 2D Zelda after was trying to copy. Like, Minish Cap is basically just this, but, like, with some different mechanics and whatnot. You know, that same top-down style. It's the perfectly refined version of the original, like, not that there was, like, that much jank with that, but, like, they took all of that and made it just better, you know? I definitely, appreciate that, you know? Yeah, so, actually, like, some good dungeons, too. Not that there weren't good dungeons before this, but, like, I don't know, they're pretty good, they're pretty doable, and it's a Super Nintendo game, so it's like, you know, I don't always love Super Nintendo games, mostly because of the controller. There's a lot of great Super Nintendo games, but, this one definitely utilizes that well. And I think it's just kind of the setup to the iconic, like, Zelda stuff. A lot of, like, Ocarina of Time is kind of, taken from this game, too. It's a very, Metal Gear 2 Solid Snake, Metal Gear Solid situation, where, if you wanted to argue that Ocarina of Time was kind of a remake of this game, you could definitely say that. There's a lot of similarities, but the whole, like, Triforce thing really came into play here. Ganon and Ganondorf were really, like, not Ganondorf yet, but, like, Ganon was, like, a thing in this one. The 7 Sages, which is kind of like a Zelda staple at this point. Yeah, like, all of that stuff was here. The Kakariko Village theme, this Dark World theme was epic. The Two Worlds kind of thing was definitely, like, started here, which is cool. Which they do in, like, a lot of Zelda games after this. Like, the epic music. Like, the previous 2 Zelda games had really good music, too, but, like, man, the music was just at such another pace here. You know, there was a lot of epic songs about it. Big step up in graphics and gameplay, and everything was just more well-refined. So many more items now, you know? It's like, yeah, it just really set the standard. Like the Fire Rod and the Ice Rod and stuff. I know they kind of had stuff like that in the original, but they refined that. It made it better. There was optional stuff out in the overworld. Heart Pieces! Heart Pieces started here, right? Not like, you know, parts, like Heart Pieces started here, you know? Like, that's pretty cool. Alright, yeah. Alright, that's all I have to say about A Link to the Past. Because the game is, or the music's telling. Okay. It's really good. Seasons. Oracle of Seasons. The best, Game Boy Color Zelda game that wasn't just a remake, kind of, or a newer version of a Game Boy game. If that makes sense. Best Capcom, Zelda as well. So, very good in terms of that. Also, a very good, like, 2D Zelda. It feels a lot like the original Zelda, but just, like, with more content and like a better world and whatnot. In terms of like a more fleshed out world, you know, it really feels like a more modern video game world. Maybe not like modern now, but like more to its time. Like there's more to explore and stuff. The original set a standard, which was like a really great thing, but this kind of refined that again, you know. Link to the Past kind of went in its own direction. It was still very similar, but it was different. You know, this feels, and maybe it's just the aesthetic of it is that it's 8-bit again, but it just feels like the original game in a lot of ways, and that's also kind of because there's a lot of similarities. Like they have the old men, you know, the little caves you can break into, and sometimes you pay money or they'll give you hints or whatever. Or sometimes you have to pay them. You know, all that stuff. And originally it was like going to be a remake of Zelda 1, but then they just kind of made their own game, and I'm glad they did. The music is great. The dungeons are actually really pretty fucking awesome. Finally, except for the last few, which are super confusing. The overworld, there's so much stuff to explore and see. The animal companions, that was cool. I mean, they had all of this in Ages too. Some of it, I mean, but it wasn't done as well. It's also like Link's Awakening, but better. It's like, if you, not better, but yeah, like, more refined. If you take Zelda 1, I have a Zelda 1. I have a Link's Awakening. Zelda Oracle of the Seasons. You know, like, anyway. So, and then the season mechanic was so great. You stand on these little stumps. You don't have to, like, oh, if I stand on this one specific square of the world, and warp to the past to warp to the future when I take one step over, and I've got to, like, move the seed here. You know, like all this mind game shit. No, it's like, you change the season, you see what happens. Okay, it's winter now. Maybe I can get over that water that was plaguing me before that I couldn't get over. You know, I can step over it because there's ice now. Oh, these mushrooms are gone because it's fall, you know, or, it's summer, this thing happens, and blah, 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 blah. You know, etc., on and on. And there you go. That's what I'm talking about. Like, that was a really good mechanic. I loved the season mechanic. I loved most of the things about this game were good. There were some minor things with the dungeons later on, and sometimes you just be like, where the hell do I go? What do I do? And those all seem to be the puzzly, sort of like, more so, like, difficult puzzle things from Ages that were, like, kind of crossed over because they were making them at the same time kind of thing. But, yeah, when it's done right, it's great, you know, and everything is good, and there's great characters, and a great world, and a great aesthetic, and music is pretty good. Lots of side content again. Yeah, it's fucking good. It's really good. Such a good Zelda. They even had like a second world with the little hooded people or whatever. That was pretty cool. Yeah. So good. And going from like playing the post game of Seasons when I was playing Ages made me realize how much more I loved Seasons than Ages. So there you go. It's really good. I definitely recommend it. The best Game Boy Color Zelda game. And Maple, the witch, or whatever. That was cool. Alright. Next game. Wait, so that was number... So, number 10, number 9. And then, now we have... So, we're in the top 10 now. Didn't take us long. Now we have number 8. I don't know. We'll put it there. Number 8, Twilight Princess. And, especially the HD, version, I think. I don't know if it really fixed that much, but, it's definitely a good version of the game, and I definitely like that version a lot. It makes it look nicer, if anything. So that's cool. Yeah, Twilight Princess really grew on me, this round. You're like, well, why is it only number 8 then? Because there's 7 better in my opinion, Zelda games are not even necessarily better, just ones that I like better. You know, this is my list, my rankings of Zeldas. But I really, before I would have put Twilight Princess probably below, like, I don't know, Wind Waker or something. You know, it would have been farther back on the list. But replaying it now was this experience. It made me realize there's so much good going on there. And I like almost every dungeon in this, like, which is something I can't say about most Zelda games, like, and especially none before this point, to where I liked every dungeon. There's some little things that, like, threw me off, like the chandelier thing, and the, the stupid, puzzle where once you get the big, you know, like, night guy in the Temple of Time, and then you just, like, slash through the gate. How was I supposed to know that? What? So I went all the way out, back out, and had to go all the way back in. Anyway, it's just a lot of little things like that in the dungeon design and whatnot, but, overall, I would say this is, like a really good Zelda game. The music's really good. The side content, there's actually a lot of that again. There's a lot of callbacks to other Zelda games and, like, Ocarina of Time and stuff. I liked the sort of other world mechanic. I didn't even mind, like, collecting the little bugs or whatever to, like, get you to not be Wolf Link anymore. And the Wolf Link thing was, like, pretty alright, you know, like, it wasn't terrible. Snow Sonic Unleashed or whatever. You know, which is what everyone compares it to because it's a werehog. But, no, this is, it's definitely, like, a good Zelda game. I even like the items I think are pretty cool. Just, like the aesthetic overall. I know I'm saying, like, a lot of the similar things, but it's, like, that's all the stuff that matters, you know? Like, all of the... It checks all the boxes. Like, this is a good Zelda game, you know? Like... And for any of these, I could just say, go watch my review. Like, that's gonna give you a better indication of, like, all my, like, in-depth thoughts about it. But, you gotta remember, like, I probably played Twilight Princess at, like, the beginning of last year. Like, a year ago, you know? Like, for the marathon, like, almost. So it's been a while. Yeah. So, but I liked it overall. It was good. Definitely a lot to like about Twilight Princess. There's not a lot of things to dislike. And there was some good side content that I missed out on, too, from what I understand. But, I think the world is cool, too. Just, like, the storyline is cool as well. The opening takes a little bit, but, you know, it is what it is. The package altogether comes together as, like, a good Zelda game, and they have all the staples. They have some unique stuff in there, and interesting characters and whatnot. Yeah, so I like it. I think Twilight Princess is good. I think I just provided myself the Hyrule Field theme for this one. Yep, I certainly did. Alright. Why are we watching a RetroWare video? Well, we're not necessarily. Technically, yes, but we're not even watching it, really. But there is another. No. Well, yeah. Zelda 2! Lincoln! No, The Adventure of Link. Listen to this. It's so fucking good. Love the On Being Human medley here. That's why we're using it. Anyway, Zelda 2. The Adventure of Link. Here, let's put these over. Can you still see them over here? Yeah, there we go. Kind of. I don't know. Whatever. Best it's gonna hit. Listen to that. So good. Anyway, the sequel to the original Legend of Zelda on NES. The two NES games, in my opinion, are like 10 out of 10 kind of games, you know? Is Zelda 2 perfect? It's not. No, I get that. There's a lot of bullshit to it. It's really hard at some points. But I love it because it's so different and so unique for a Zelda game. The side-scrolling aspects, I think, are really cool. And I have a lot of nostalgia for it, too. You know, playing it back on the emulators and whatnot back in the day. But I really enjoyed it. And sometimes it's frustrating, sure, but if you play it with the Switch Online, you can just, like, you know, rewind or whatever, so that's helpful. I think it's such a fresh and different take on Zelda, though. And the music is, oh, it's so fucking legendary. I love it. Legendary, because it's Legend of Zelda. You know, and there's a big open world, not open, there's a big world to explore. Lots of little shortcuts and secrets throughout the world. Some of it's like, how would you know that? Yeah, but you know. I know the dungeons can like look pretty similar, but I think they all kind of stand out in their own way. For the time, I mean, it's kind of hard to... It's hard to make dungeons at this point, you know. It just has a lot going for it. I think it made the combat feel very engaging, you know, when you're stabbing up and down, and you have a lot of, like, sword stuff you can do, like, down slice and cut into blocks and stuff. There's just so many of, like, little paths to take and stuff. Finding everything is cool. I don't know. There's not a lot to say about it, but it's just it's a really good, it's the black sheep of the Zelda games, but, you know, it's really good. Also, the whole thing with the townspeople that, like, turn into bats or whatever, they reused that in Breath of the Wild with the Yiga clan, so you cannot convince me that that was not a reference to Zelda 2. Definitely was. Had to be. For me, anyway, it was a reference to Zelda 2. So, started the whole Sage names from Ocarina of Time. Those were all, like, names were here. I gave Zelda towns. There was an experience system. How did I not talk about that yet? With, like, leveling up your sword and your magic. There's magic spells that, like, turned you into a fairy and healed you. And that you could jump higher and shields and stuff. Oh my god, it was so cool. I know it's grindy sometimes, but, like, damn, dude. Like, all of those were such good elements. Listen to this fucking music. Oh, I turned it down accidentally. How can you not love that? It's so good. So, yeah. Zelda 2, fucking amazing. I love it. 10 out of 10. I don't care what anybody says. Fuck y'all if you don't like Zelda 2. It's a good game. I won't hear otherwise. We don't talk about... Oh. I remember the first time I heard this, man. A small tear. Fucking... Oh, it's beautiful. So good. You know what, Seasons? You can stay down there then if you don't wanna participate. Okay, fine. Goddamn, yeah, I love it. Here, maybe if I... Ah, no, that didn't help at all. Alright. That's it for the first pile. So that was number, what, 7? Yep, number 7. Alright, I'm on this finally. So good. Alright. Only 6 more Zeldas to go! Alright. Number 6. Link Between Worlds. Alright, so I thought this was a really great game. And I know, like a lot of people did, but I feel like this one often gets, forgotten in the Breath of the Wild hype, you know? The system of this game is brilliant. I want this to return in Breath of the Wild. It won't, or, Tears of the Kingdom. It won't, but I want it to. I mean, they kind of did it in Breath of the Wild. We get the runes all up front. But you can get pretty much all of your items right away, and you could go and you could just get whichever ones you want to tackle whatever scenario. It's brilliant. I mean, it's awesome. And you could, later in the Dark World, you could do, a bunch of them out of order. You could do all of them out of order, I'm pretty sure. if you know what to do and where to go and all of that. So that's awesome. Like, the freedom in this game. And it's another 2D Zelda game. The last 2D Zelda game that wasn't a remake, you know? It's sad. This was 2013. This came out like 10 years ago. And they still haven't made another 2D Zelda game. What the fuck, dude? Bullshit. That wasn't like a Triforce Heroes or something. That doesn't fucking count. That's the spin-off series. I'm talking about a main series game, you know? Listen to this. So good. I mean, I know they had this in Link to the Past too. And it's a sequel to Link to the Past, one of everyone's favorite Zelda game, right? For the fucking most part. Oh. So there you go. How do you beat this? Link Between Worlds is great. And, just the world itself is great. And it really plays into you knowing, like, Link to the Past too. If you know Link to the Past, you'll know a lot of secrets, but there's also new things. In case you did know Link to the Past, it's not just a remake of Link to the Past. There's so many new things going on here, and new scenarios, and new characters. The Mai-Mais that are basically like the Koroks, but like better, was awesome. I thought that was a great system to upgrade your items and stuff. That's super cool. Lots of good side content too. Like, I do most of it every time I play through the game. Which has been twice so far, but I always try to do a lot of the side content there. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I'm really into it. I think Link Between Worlds is like super good. You know, there's like only a couple of little. It's always the dungeons, man. There's like a couple little dungeon things that bother me a couple times, I think. And that was really the only problems I like kind of had. Like the ice dungeon was kind of, where do I go and how do I get there and blah blah blah. And I think it turned out I was just like, I had a key that I didn't know I had or something. I don't fucking remember. But anyway, stuff like that, you know. But overall, like a really cool game. The Dark World was awesome. I like how it's like low rule now. There's like a different thing there. Yeah, like even the aesthetic was cool. Like it called back to the older Zelda aesthetic, which was neat. The old design of Link and all of that from like Link to the Past, definitely cool. Yeah, I just think it was really brilliant. It was one of the best 2D Zeldas of the newer ones, you know. So, I mean, we still got a bunch of 2D Zeldas to talk about, but or well, a couple anyway. So yeah, but anyway, I really like Link Between Worlds. I think it's forgotten a little bit, you know? I mean, nobody ever talks about it anymore, you know? People always skip over it for whatever reason. So, yeah. Number 6 there. Right? Number 6? Yep. Alright. Next up on the list, number 5, we have one of the best Zelda games, number 5 on the list. The newest Zelda game, main series that is. Everyone's like new favorite Zelda game. They won't stop talking about it. I just want to listen to the music. Which actually, okay, there's some good tracks. I know, I kind of ranked out the music. It's just not very, like, in the game. It's just very more... The music is good, but it's just like you don't ever get to hear it, you know? Anyway, we're talking about Breath of the Wild. The new open world Zelda game, you know? The one that's like... It did everything everyone always wanted Zelda to do. I appreciate that, you know? There's just a couple of things that, like, I would have made better. But, you know, the openness, the cooking system was cool. I don't know why I went right to that. The weapons, I mean, were cool. The durability, I know, was kind of an issue for some people. I don't mind that. I think that's pretty cool. I didn't even really mind the dungeons that much. They just weren't as good as some of the other Zelda dungeons. I'm more of a fan of the traditional sort of Zelda dungeons. And you could have done something like, I heard somebody talk about it, and they're like, why didn't you just have, like, these dungeons and then more dungeons? I know that would have taken more time to produce and whatnot, but that is what I'm talking about. Yes, I hope in the next game there are, like, maybe some Divine Beast-esque dungeons, but also, like, some real Zelda dungeons, you know? I think that a lot of, like, the Zelda staples were what we're missing from this game, you know? I think that's, like, the only things that I can really harp on the game for. Is this... Yeah! Alright. Listen to this. This is epic. I was gonna put the song in here, but you don't need anything other than this. This right here is what's epic. I wish I could show you the... I could. We could watch the video together. It'd be great. But I'm not gonna make that happen. So we're just gonna listen to the moment as it happens. The fucking scene where this is happening? Oh, the fucking Calamity Ganon boss fight. I know people are like not such a fan of Calamity Ganon. Yeah, he's dumb. His name's dumb too. His name's Calamity fucking Ganon. He's an Old West shooter. Poo-poo, Calamity Ganon. Woo! You know, fucking so stupid. Anyway, what a dumb name, right? But he's not really that much of a presence, and I get that. That's kind of an issue or whatever, but I don't really care about that. By the time you get to him, it's pretty epic, you know? You're ready to fight him kind of thing. Yeah, just the overworld, the shrines were pretty cool, you know? Just, like, finding all of that. Just, there's so much to find. The Koroks, I mean, I know there's too many of them, but finding them to upgrade your shit is cool. Oh my god, this music? Just listen to this shit. Fucking, oh, it's so epic. Chef's kiss to that, but... aesthetically, it's, like, the best-looking Zelda game, obviously. It's like flying in with the little paraglider thing or whatever. Oh, dude. I know everybody hates Dark Beast Ganon, but I didn't think that was that bad. I understand what you should have been able to, like, climb on him, like, shoot spots on him. Oh, God, listen to it. You get, like, picture those beams in your head. Those beams are fucking awesome. It's like... This is our chance, you know? Fucking... Oh, listen to that! You don't even need to see it! It's such an epic cutscene! When you just listen to it, it's fucking awesome. The moment is alive. You're not feeling something right now? Fucking, I think you haven't played the game, or you're some asshole like that guy who's like, I didn't feel anything when the champions shot Ganon, and I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? That's like the greatest moment in the entire game, was this cutscene. I didn't even, like, you don't even get to interact with the champions that much. Oh, you can hear the little shriek of it. Like, it's this light bar, like, oh, it's so epic. It's so... I fucking can't. No, it's serious. It's so good. That scene is like the greatest scene in any video game. And I have problems. The fucking raid is the hugest problem in Breath of the Wild. I fucking hate the raid. It's such a shitty problem to have. Okay. Anyway. I think the open world thing was cool. Yeah, overall it was good. It's a really great Zelda game. It's a lot of fun to play. There's so many good things about it. There's so much to talk about it, but I just don't want to talk about everything again. Please just go check out my review. Upgrading stuff. The armor system was cool. I don't know, it just needed like a crafting durability thing. Fix like the rain. I don't. That's it. That's pretty much it. That's all you gotta do. Make some more traditional Zelda dungeons. Yeah, that's it. That's all you gotta do. It's amazing. It was great. It was such a good game. I agree. I know all these 10 out of 10s. I love it now too. Okay, so but I'm not gonna like jizz my pants over it. Okay. It's great. It's a great game. The Guardians, those are cool, you know? Yeah, fuck yeah. I mean, this whole game is great. But maybe it's a little bit overhyped. And everyone, they always neglect to talk about the rain, is the other thing. So, yeah, I don't know. So many good things about it, though. It's a great game. Great game. And I'm glad it is. That has me... has me excited about the future of Zelda. So, just a sense of exploration, too. Everything that Zelda 1 set up, which, hey, we might as well get to that, right? Zelda 1, it's the next entry, number 4. That was number 5. This is number 4. Everything that Zelda 1 set up, this open world, this game refined to a modern degree, you know, which is nice. So, yeah, so I loved that. Here, let's get on to the next song. Alright, so Zelda 1, the original Zelda, the NES Zelda. You know, I love the NES. It's like one of my favorite systems of all time. I collected all the games for it at one point. And, Zelda is my favorite game for the NES. And I know, that's probably such a cliche, typical answer, right? But the reason it is because it was so far beyond its time. At the time, this was the greatest game. Like, seriously, there was nothing even in the league of, like, exploration, you know, when it came out. And even I would argue it just took a while for... I don't know. I don't know if any Zelda game really did it again until, like, Breath of the Wild, you know? Where you have this open world to yourself. This is the first real example of an open world game, you know? Like, I know there's, like, adventure and stuff. That's little pixels on a screen. That's, you know, like, tiny blot. Yeah, it's a dot on the screen. This is fucking real, man. This is, like... There's hearts everywhere, you know, there's secrets to explore, you burn the bushes, there's so many bushes, thousands of bushes, you know, tens of thousands, I don't fucking know. You gonna burn them all? Yeah, you are, because you want to find all the secrets, you know. The music, it all started here. Everything. The aesthetic is cool. The combat was actually pretty good for the time. The dungeons, I think, are well laid out. You know, there's some bullshit, like Ganon's castle or whatever. Oh, God. It takes forever to get through there, but, you know, you might need a guide. But, like, hey, man, this is so cool. All the items and stuff. Just for an NES game, it is the most impressive NES game. It is so far above its time, ahead of its time. And it just is really... a fucking, like, very special game, you know? Like, there was just such this, like, this feeling of exploration in that game. And I guess the fact that it was 8-bit, too, is just, I'm just partial to that era, but you just couldn't do stuff like this without having some kind of brilliant design. It's just like, I know I said it before, but like the openness of it. You can go to any dungeon and just do them all, you know? You can't just go to Ganon right away, but like, Breath of the Wild definitely took that from here. Like, that's what that sense of exploration, that openness that everyone loves about that game is from Zelda 1. And like, they're just trying to recapture that magic, you know? It's like, I know it's simple, I know it's basic, I know some people call it archaic, it's cryptic sometimes, you know? But there's hidden systems in the game, you know, you just gotta seek it out. I know it's not always the clearest, but it's so much fun to just explore. Just because you don't know how to do something doesn't mean that there's some kind of esoteric way to do it or something like there is in some game like Ages or Skyward Sword, where it's like, you know, you have to think about all these mechanics. It's just like, can you beat this guy in this dungeon? There's dark nuts everywhere. Beat them all, then the room thing will come. Push this block. It's so simple. Maybe you can bomb this way or that way or that way. It's all about exploring, and I love that. Just the sense of exploration and everything about it is just so fucking iconic. I just love it. I just love it so much. And that's why, to me, it's above Breath of the Wild, because you just don't get a game like this, you know, maybe these days, it doesn't matter. I'm just saying, there'll never be another game like that, you know? You can't really do that again and have that same kind of awe and wonder of exploration. The closest thing we have right now is like Breath of the Wild, but it's a moment in history, you know? And it's a very historic game. It's groundbreaking. It's sort of what do they call that? It inspires other games, you know? It's influential. It's a very influential game, you know? It's an important game. It is. But I really love it. I don't know. And if any game, any fucking game deserved to have the main Zelda theme play over it, it is this. Because it started here. It was on the fucking title screen here, you know? Like, and that was epic enough. And then Ganon and Zelda, the Triforce, all of everything that you love about Zelda started here. This shirt is one of my favorite shirts. It's great. I love it. Look at this. This is amazing. It's so cool. I don't know. It's just simply one of the greatest games ever made. All right? And that's the standard we're going into these next 3 games with, is this is just one of the greatest games ever made. Okay? Breath of the Wild could have been on that level if it had a few problems. So, fuck them, right? It only gets a 9.8. This game gets a fucking 10 out of 10. This is a 10 out of 10. Listen to this epic theme. Bam, baby. It's gold. It's fucking gold. It's gold. Alright. So, the next game on the list. The 3rd best Zelda game of all time. There's only 3 left. Which ones do you think I'm going to choose, right? You probably know. If you, like, know me, you know. If you know, you know. Alright. Giving it away. Ocarina of Time. My very original cartridge, too. You can actually see some guy, Andrew Fox, wrote his name on there. So, the very cartridge I got back in the day. And, you know, my history with Ocarina, I used to watch a kid play it. It was like the second Zelda game I ever saw. We'll talk about the first one I saw in a bit here. But, yeah, I mean, wow. Like, playing, or not even playing that game, just watching that game be played. It was the most epic game of its time. You know, a lot like Zelda 1, but no, like, you know, Zelda 1's great, and I wasn't there for that originally, but I still understand the magic of that game. This game I was there for. I understand the magic of it immensely because I was there, you know? Like, Ocarina of Time is something that I grew up with. I saw people play it. That was the original thing, was I watched somebody play it. And even watching somebody play it, I'm like, oh my god, like, look, he's going to do this thing, and he would, like, explain it to us. It was like an epic tale being unfolded in front of us. And then when I finally got to play it, when I got my N64, you know, this is like the first or second game I got with the system. And it was the first one. Then it was Mega Man 64. But, no, but I think I got Mega Man 64 for, I don't know. Anyway, it was like one of the first games I got for the system, and I would just play it again and again and again. And there's so many cool things about it. I mean, just like the aesthetic, just the fact that it was now in 3D, you know, like, for the first 3D Zelda game, it's like really cool. I love, like, I don't love all of the, I mean, I do though. I mean, the dungeons are all, like, really good. They're all iconic, at least. My favorite's the Forest Temple. My favorite dungeon in a Zelda game is the Forest Temple, and that's from this game. And the music, oh my god, it is so fucking good. It is one of, if not the best Zelda soundtracks. I would argue for another game, which we'll talk about here in a bit. But, that's only because, well, no, we'll talk about that in a bit. Anyway, it's so good. It's so good. The music is so legend. Here, let's get to some of the other tracks, because I don't know how much more I have to... you know, I can only say so much. It's like Hyrule Field was like, it was kind of another trying to capture that Zelda 1 thing. It didn't really work as well, but it still was sort of open. You would go to these different areas. It was all hubbed through Hyrule Field, you know? And you couldn't necessarily always get everywhere, like the Gerudo Valley as a kid or whatever, until you, like, got the song at the very end of the game with the Spirit Temple and all that, but my point being, it was epic. You would run around this field, you would fight enemies, it was in 3D, it's like, you know, you run over, you go to Lon Lon Ranch, there's stuff to do there. There's so much good side content in this game as well. There's side quests, there's so many heart pieces to collect, you know, like, that's finally, like, a really engrossed and ingrained part of your journey now is the heart pieces. I know they had that in Link's Awakening too, and Link to the Past, but I'm just saying, like, at this point is when it's like, wow, yeah, heart pieces are, like, really connected to the game, you know? Like, you do side quests and you get a heart piece now, rather than just, like, having to find it out in the overworld, or open up a chest with it or something, or play, like, a fishing minigame. I guess, yes, like, they did that in, like, Link's Awakening. We'll talk about that. It's like, I'm just saying, it's, like, really... And then, like, the Skulltula quest was just, like... So, it was, like, it's so epic. It was, like, the better version of the Koroks and of the Mai Mais or whatever. I mean, it's better than the Mai Mais. I mean, Mai Mais actually get you, like, upgrades for your gear. I mean, the Skulltulas, they get your heart piece at the end. They give you infinite money if you get them all. But, like, you know, you get some wallets along the way. I don't know. It's just a cool side quest to have. You know, they're everywhere in the world. They're just so much fun to find. You hear, like... You're like... Where's it at? Where's it at? Where's it? I need it. I need it. You know, I gotta find it. Oh, some of them are so well hidden. It's just... There's so many secrets in the game. There's so much stuff to see and enjoy. And just, like... I just love it. There's so much to do. So many mini games and, each of the areas is really cool, and it's iconic. This is where we get the Gerudos, the Gorons, the Zoras, man. I mean, the Zoras were in, like, Zelda 1, blah, blah, blah. Who cares? This is where they were, like, elegant and beautiful and whatever. And, like, you know, the main races of Zelda, like, all start here, you know, for the most part. Ganondorf, and like, that fight with Ganon at the end is so fucking epic. Like, that's what Darkbeak's Ganon wanted to be, right? Like, it was the Ocarina of Time Ganon fight. Like, it's so good. I don't know, what else? Like, there's so many, so iconic. Epona! Epona comes from this game, you know? Like, the Master Sword. I mean, I know it was in A Link to the Past, whatever. It's cool. It was kind of in Zelda 1 or whatever, but, like, here's where it's really, like, a point of the story. You have the dual worlds, you know? You're an older and younger Link, and the Temple of Time and all of that, like, really comes into play. Was there a Temple of Time in, Link to the Past? I don't think there was. Was there? No, you know, there wasn't. So, yeah, the Temple of Time is from this game. You know, there's so many iconic things that started here. And the game is just so much fun to play and explore and talk to all of the people and do all the side quests. The Majora's Mask guy, the mask seller, it was here. You know, you could do the mask minigame side quest thing. It was just so epic to explore and see. The song's really long. I want to hear the other ones too. You know, Zelda's Lullaby. How do you not love that? The Ocarina! Which is, like, such an iconic thing. Everyone thinks of ocarinas when they think of, like, Zelda, you know, instruments. The instruments from here on, like, they only did that because the ocarina was such a big, successful thing in this, you know, like... And none of them ever really did it quite as well, in my opinion. So yeah, like, that was iconic. Zelda is finally, like, kind of a part of the story. Like, I don't think she really ever was in any of the other games. She was always at the end where you had to go save her. She wasn't even in Link's Awakening. I don't think. No, she wasn't. She wasn't in Link's Awakening. So there's that. Yeah, like... So many cool things about this game. It is just like the iconic Zelda game, you know? I know it's like talked about to death and everyone's 10 out of 10, similar to the Breath of the Wild thing, But whereas I could argue that Breath of the Wild has some issues and maybe it doesn't deserve as much praise. I don't know. I still really love it. It's still a great game. But Zelda Ocarina of Time definitely deserves all the praise. There's so many cool things about it to talk about. There's so many, I don't know. There's just so many intricate things. I can't, just go watch my review. I say everything in the review, I'm pretty sure. But, like, man, it's such an iconic Zelda game. Alright? Like, for sure. I was gonna say, The Lost Woods. You know, that's from this game, you know? Alright, what's the other one? What's the other song I had? A Forest Temple, of course. Fucking great area. Like, that kind of dungeon design. That's what I want in Breath of the Wild, Tears of the Kingdom. Tears of the Kingdom, yeah. I was gonna say Breath of the Wild 2, but that's what we've been calling it for how many years now, and now it's finally Tears of the Kingdom. Alright, so that's what I want. Forest Temple. Give me another Forest Temple that's like cool like this. Like, make me shoot ghost puzzles. I don't know. I don't even care. You just put the whole Forest Temple in Tears of the Kingdom. I'll think it's lazy, but you know what? I'll love it. I won't if you actually do that, I won't even dig you for it. I'll just be like, yeah, that was pretty cool. The Forest Temple is in the game. I love the Forest Temple, so why not? Just like remake the whole temple in there. That'd be awesome. I'd love that. Man, I remember playing this game as a kid. I fucking love this game. I know. Am I nostalgic about it? Yes, I'm nostalgic about it. Great Fairies! The fucking big-ass Great Fairies with the big titties that, you know, I was like, when I was like 10, I'm like, am I supposed to be watching this? This looks like some fucking, lingerie shit or something. All she's got around her is vines. Like, this is pretty sexual, right? This game is rated E for sexual themes and you know, oh, the fucking guy at the bottom of the well? Is this game rated E for horrific imagery and violence? Or whatever? Oh my god. There's such a dark undertone to it too sometimes, but not as dark as a game we'll talk about in a bit here. I don't know. I just love Ocarina of Time. There's so many cool things about it. It's such a great game. Oh, the Gerudo Valley music. The hook shot. I mean, I know that was in Link to the Past, but here it was like so iconic, man. The arrows, the different types of arrows. I don't know. There's so much to talk about. I already talked about it in the review. You just go watch that. Go watch that. I'm just gonna sit here and jam out. The best final boss, you know. The staff roll is fucking iconic. Such good music. The sages, you know, all that shit. Oh my god, so good. All right, next game. We gotta talk about the best Zelda game. Well, not technically, but one of... Oh, yeah, it's awesome. I love that little sword. You know, like, oh, it's fucking good. Legend of Zelda Link's Awakening. Now, I love Ocarina of Time, and I think it, to me, it's like a perfect game, you know? But Link's Awakening, man, I love fucking Link's Awakening. This is like the first Zelda game that I actually like ever saw or played, from what I remember. So just like playing this, and I love 2D Zelda, and that's the thing. Like, that love of 2D Zelda pretty much all started from like, oh, there was Ocarina of Time 3D as well. Oh my god, listen to the music. Oh, so good. And the remake is so good too. I did a review on that. That's the only reason I didn't like review the original is because it's like really similar to the remake. You know, it's like, I don't know if I'd have enough to say. But like, man, oh man, I love Link's Awakening. The island, the like semi-openness of it, you know, definitely later it opens up. Again, there's so many secrets. It's kind of like I said with Seasons, it's a more well-realized version of like that feeling in the original Zelda 1. So many iconic locations like Tall Heights, and you know, like the swamp and stuff, and like I just like all these different spots. Just I can see them all in my head. I don't know the names of them all. I don't remember at the moment. I'm really hyped up on other stuff. That's what I'm thinking about. The village theme. Oh my god, listen to this. When I heard this in the remake, I'm like, oh my god, this is awesome. The only thing about the remake is like the blurring on the outside or whatever. You get used to it, but it's like, it's just weird. It's kind of weird at first. On the owl theme on the remake is, or yeah, that one sucks. And then there's like the one where they're like, it's like an urgent theme. It's like, it's like, oh my god, this is terrible. Who approved this? That's the remake, though. The originals are all fine. Soundtrack in the original is fucking brilliant. 10 out of 10 soundtrack. And the remake soundtrack is pretty good, too. That's like a 9.7 out of 10 or something. But so iconic. Spoilers for Link's Awakening. The dream aesthetic of the whole thing is awesome. It's a dream. It's a dream. Oh, I'm so sorry. I spoiled Link's Awakening for you. I didn't want to do it, but I had to. It is just like one of the most unique Zelda games out there. All of the dungeons are like super cool too, and like getting to them and having to get the keys and like each of the I don't even know how to describe it. Like each of the lock things where they all have those little like things next to them. The statues or whatever. I love it. Okay, I'm sorry. It's like I don't know how to explain it. It's great. It's amazing. It's fucking epic. Some of the later dungeons kind of get a little heady or whatever. You gotta like really think about them, but it's so good. There's so many good side content. The trading quest. Oh, I forgot to talk about that in Ocarina. To get the big rod sword. That's pretty cool. But the trading quest in this game like spans like almost the whole game. It's fucking awesome. You get the boomerang at the end. It's so good. I love it. The fucking trading side quest. The like aesthetic of this, just like all the little weird things, like where you have to take the ghost to the house or whatever. That's cool. Lots of good side content, you know, like side quests and whatnot. It's just a really enjoyable world to go about exploring. It just the feels, man. I just get so nostalgic thinking about it. I love Link's Awakening. It's so good. Man, it's so good. I don't know what else to say about it. The music's good. It looks good. Especially the remake. Although I am partial also to the 8-bit aesthetic. I know in the original it's like the whole item system thing where you can only hold 2 of them. But the remake fixes that. And they had that in the Game Boy Color games too. So I mean, whatever. Like that's not so much of a big deal to me. The context-sensitive stuff that they fixed in the remake, that was really nice. They did fix that in the remake, right? I'm pretty sure they did. Yeah, definitely they fixed that in the remake. Like picking up barrels and stuff once you have the power bracelet, you don't have to like, you know, like take it out to do that kind of stuff, which is nice. And this fucking Telltale Heights shit. So epic. So good. Marin and Terran. Just the whole village and like everything, all these like little weird things about the game. I don't know, man. It's really good. Just go play Link's Awakening. It's really good. It's really good. I love it. That's all. That's it. That's it. The list is over, right? That's number 1? No, that's number 2. And it's not poo. It's good. How do I... Okay, let's see. Alright, there we go. Now, the number 1 Zelda game. Alright, let's do the list to this point, alright? Number 16, Ages. Number 15, Skyward Sword. Number 14, Phantom Hourglass. Number 13, Minish Cap. Number 12, Spirit Tracks. Number 11, Wind Waker. Number 10, A Link to the Past. Number 9, Oracle of Seasons. Number 8, Twilight Princess. Number 7, Zelda 2. Number 6, A Link Between Worlds. Number 5, Breath of the Wild. Number 4, Zelda 1. Number 3, Ocarina of Time. Number 2, Link's Awakening. And, if you haven't guessed it by now, the number 1 Zelda game of all time. Zelda Majora's Mask. And my original cartridge also, by the way. That my brother gave to me on my, like, 10th or 11th birthday or something. I don't remember. It was a birthday. That's all I know. Oh my god. It is literally just so perfect to me in almost every way. I know there's a lot of problems to a lot of people, and I agree. Some of the like the tower where you have to like play the song like a million times. I know like the people get annoyed by that. I don't really mind that stuff as much. I know that it's not ideal to be doing those things, but I don't know. I just still love the game regardless. All of the like, I know I keep saying it, the side content, but the side content in this game is fucking brilliant. The time system, it's a living world that you're in, and the people have their own schedules, and you have to like go and find them at the right time, and you have to like keep track of all of that. It's so good. That is like fucking great. I know there's only like 4 dungeons, but guess what? They're all really pretty great dungeons, and like finding the fairies inside of them is pretty cool to get your like enhanced magic and stuff. I think that's all really cool. The mask system, where you get to like just like take on the forms of these other, like the Zoras, the Gorons, the Dekus. You get to fly, you get to swim as fast as you fucking want. You fucking Majora's Mask 3D, it's already buried under there because it can eat my dick on that shit. What was I gonna say? The Goron, where you get to roll around everywhere. All of the characters and the fucking like finding all the heart pieces and just like the emotion to everything. The world's gonna end. You know, the moon is gonna crash into this town that does not deserve it. Majora and Skull Kid and all of that and like, oh my god, like just the world. The world is so dense with like secrets and content, and you don't, you know, it's not like you have to like run all the way to the other side of the world to like finish a side quest. I mean, sometimes you do, but like, my point is like, it's all laid out like super well, and I love that. There's so many good quests to get masks in this game and heart pieces and stuff, and like everything is cool. The spider houses, I don't know, it's just like the flow of time, you know, and manipulating that to your advantage, and like all of that is just really cool. The aesthetic of the game is just legendary, you know, like the dark undertone to the whole thing. Just all the people that you can help, all of that connects you to the game to where you feel so much whilst playing and you connect to them, you know. It's a very somber and personal experience and attachment that you get to these characters, you know. It's just such a beautiful and haunting world to get lost in, and there's always optimizing things because of the time limit. There's always a flow to things. There's always doing things better. It's almost like a speedrunner's dream, you know, in a sense. Yeah, yes and no, because of the time limit thing. You have to wait around a lot of time, so I guess speedrunners probably don't really love it, but it has that vibe about it, you know, like to perfect things and always do it better the next time around. And the whole game was made in like a year. Like, isn't that insane? Isn't that crazy that the whole game was like it's like a sequel to Ocarina or whatever? I don't know. I just love it. The music is fucking iconic. I think it's probably like the best, if not, you know, well, because it has a lot of the Ocarina songs. So by default, because it has its own great music and because it has the Ocarina songs, it gets to be like the best Zelda soundtrack, you know, right? Like, what else? I forgot to talk about Zora's domain in the last one, but Zora Hall theme, the song is iconic. I mean, I know that was in Ocarina. The Astral Observatory, one of the greatest fucking tracks ever written. It's so calming, and it gives you just this like space vibe, you know, like I don't know how to explain it. Your astrology vibe, you know, like you're looking out at the stars. Oh man, it just, I love it. You know, and of course, am I super nostalgic about the game? Yeah, I fucking am. I love it, alright? The aliens at the ranch, you know, that was fucking awesome. Or the ghosts, or whatever you want to call it. Stuff like that. That's iconic side quest stuff, you know, like, the whole game is like side quests. Like, that's what makes it so cool, is like all these side quests that you're getting done, and just how much content there is in the world. It's great. I just love it, you know? I don't know. So there's that song, that's fucking epic. This song, which is like so haunting, it happens in the last, like, you know, what, 6 hours of the run, you know, when you're almost, the moon's about to crash into Clock Town. And it just captures this pure desperation that these people are feeling, you know, the emotion, the fucking emotion, you know, I don't know, emotion, right, the fucking emotion, yeah, holy shit. And then it has one of, if not the fucking greatest endings to a video game ever. You get to see everything that you worked for, every character that you interacted with, everything that you did, all of the beautiful stuff comes together, and it has such a great song behind it, and you get to see everyone happy and alive, and you saved the day, and you feel personally connected to all of it if you really engaged in the world. And that, oh, wow, it's just so, you feel that so much, you know, it's just, oh, like, Ocarina has a great ending, staff role thing, and I liked all those characters and whatever, but I wasn't as emotionally invested. I didn't help all of those people through the end of the world. Yeah, I stopped Ganon or whatever, but this is something else. This is on a whole other level, you know? Oh my god. Yeah. So that's it, really. I mean, this is the #1 Zelda game, and I don't think anything can ever top it, you know? And that's the list, and then that's it, you know? That's all 16 Zelda games up to 2023 that have been ranked. And whenever I review Tears of the Kingdom, I'll try and rank it on the list and kind of tell you where I'll put it, you know, basically. So until then, this will be the last Zelda thing I do until like Hyrule Warriors, but I'm not working on that at the moment. I might work on that, I don't know. This is a perfect game, I swear. I know, there's problems that people have, but like, to me it's perfect. Oh, I don't know, that's it. There's not much else to say. I'm just vibing to the music, I like it. The series is awesome. You know, the first, how many games? Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Like, the first, like, 5 games, or the bottom 5 games I listed on this list, are the only ones I wouldn't, even Spirit Tracks, which is the 5th, you know, it's like number 12 or whatever, it's, 11. Well, no, it'd be number 12. Anyway, that's the 5th one, you know, up. And, even that, I would say, is, like, a pretty good game. But anything above that is, like, you know, legendary, basically. Or it's, like, at least great. And then it becomes, like, really good around, like, I don't know, like, Twilight Princess, Zelda 2, maybe, like, around that part of the list. And then it's like, man, these are, like, iconic 10 out of 10 games from there on, so... beautiful. I'm so glad I've replayed all of these games. It was exhausting, but it was worth it. It's such a great series. I mean, it's like probably like my 3rd favorite series after like Metal Gear and Dragon Quest or something. I don't know, maybe it's even better than Dragon Quest, who knows. It's a kind of hard thing to say, but like, Honestly, yeah, it might be. It's not that many Dragon Quest games that make it in, like, my top 10. So, yeah, honestly, I think wow, shit. I guess I'm gonna put this above Dragon Quest in terms of series. Yeah, so that's... Yeah, Metal Gear and then Zelda. Wow. Fucking amazing. Love this series. So, until next time, this has been JZNES saying keep it classic, play Zelda, and I'll see you guys in the next one. JZ out.